Hey folks, welcome back to the Mike Lopez Show. So glad you're with us. I'm your host, ACMike Lopez. Listen, we have a very special guest for you today. We always say that, right? Special guest, we do, each and every woman. And man that comes to our show is a special guest here. And we have a very, very special one. Listen, the VP, GM, Senior VP, that is, Miss Jacqueline Grace, Tropicana, Atlantic City. Welcome to the show.
Hello, and thank you for that introduction. I appreciate being called special, so thank you for that.
There you go. Right now, I got to ask real quick, Jacqueline, Jackie, very professional.
Yeah, it's a great question. Jacqueline is my full name, but 0 people on the face of this earth call me Jacqueline. Everyone calls me Jackie, so please call me Jackie, Mike.
There you go, Jackie Grace. Welcome to the show. Hey, listen, I know that you were here at one time, and when I say here in Atlantic City, Atlantic County, the great resort, the 401. Tell us a little bit about your background before we get into the today.
Yeah, sure. So to your point, I started off my career in gaming right here in Atlantic City. This is my second career. My first career, I actually worked on Wall Street for about 10 years, and then I went off to business school and got my MBA at the University of Virginia Darden School of Business, and decided to transition into the gaming industry because I'm just so enamored with it for a ton of reasons that we can talk about. And so I started my career right here in beautiful Atlantic City. I worked for Caesars Entertainment at the time and started off at Bally's down the street when we owned Bally's in slots, believe it or not. And then I moved into a marketing role at the Showboat Casino when we owned the Showboat then. And then I moved into a regional role supporting all 4 properties at the time. So Harrah's, Caesars, Bally's, and Showboat. And so after about 4 years being here in Atlantic City, I stayed with Caesars, but got a promotion and started moving around a little bit. Went down to our property in Baltimore, the Horseshoe Casino there, as the head of HR right after they opened, and then bounced around to our sister property right outside of Philadelphia in Chester, Pennsylvania. So the Harrah's Philadelphia, back to Baltimore for another 3 years. And then last year in September, made my way back here to Atlantic City as the general manager here at the Tropicana, and could not be more thrilled because it was truly a full circle moment for me. I love Atlantic City. I love the role and the position that the properties play in the community here in Atlantic City. And so I was happy to be able to come back to Atlantic City where I started my career.
And we're so glad that you're here. Listen, now with all that, there's a lot of back and forth. And like I said, full circle. Yeah. What I like to do now, take us a little bit before that, what got you involved, school and growing up and whatnot, because where you've been and what you're doing at a very young age, although I don't know your age, it seems like you're amazing at what you've done. But was there a passion and that sort of thing prior in your childhood?
Yeah, so I'll take you all the way back, and I try to make it quick because I'm probably older than you think I am. But So I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, right? In my mind, not so far away, right? We were in the backyard. So I'm a New York girl. And I tell people I grew up in old Brooklyn, not new Brooklyn, right? Not this new fancy pants Brooklyn that is enjoying a renaissance now. So truly, again, old school Brooklyn. I am the first person in my family to graduate from college. So both of my parents, working class, retired from the U.S. Postal Service. And, for me to be the first person in my family to even go to college, let alone graduate from college, was really a big deal. And for me, to go back to your question of kind of how it started, I was initially fascinated by computers. I wanted to understand how a computer was built and made. And so I said, I had no idea how to do this, but I said, I want to learn how computers are built. So I'm going to go to college and I'm going to study computer engineering. And that's exactly what I did. I went to Stony Brook University in Long Island up in New York. I got a degree in electrical engineering with a concentration in computer engineering. And then when it came time to graduate, I had 2 options. And I said, I can either stick on this engineering path, or I actually had an opportunity to go into financial services on Wall Street in a technology program. And what made me go there, and I'm telling you this for a reason because it will all tie back to where I am now, but what made me go there at the time was I developed this great skill set with respect to engineering, which is really about problem solving. But what I enjoyed the most about my undergraduate career was leading people. I played really active roles in on-campus organizations, and I enjoyed that. And so I thought going off to Wall Street would give me the opportunity to combine both my problem solving, technical engineering skills with my desire to work with and organize and lead people. And that's exactly what happened. So as I indicated, I was on Wall Street for about 10 years, had various roles and moved around a lot there with the same organization. But each of my moves moved my work to be closer and closer to people, right? The root of my work being about people. And so when I made the leap to go off to business school full time to get my graduate degree, I knew that when I came out of business school, I wanted the root of my work to be about people. And when you think about this industry and what we do, it's a giant people business, right? So we employ thousands of team members, and then we serve tens of thousands of guests. And so when I wake up every day, I'm thinking about how am I making where we work, Tropicana, how am I making this the best place for our team members? How am I ensuring that when people come to work, they feel engaged, they feel motivated, they feel valued and appreciated, and we're helping people reach their professional and personal goals. And then I'm thinking about guests. When they come into this door, do they feel like they are valued and appreciated? Giant people business. So I wake up thinking about that. I go to sleep thinking about that. And so that's ultimately what attracted me to the industry, being able to serve people for a living. And then let me add the third component, the community, right? So we all operate in communities, and it's also important to me that we are true community partners and serving the folks in the community with where we work. And so serving our team members, our guests, and our community is kind of what motivates me. And that's what led me here.
And that's awesome. I mean, the way you take us back and you're so thorough in it, and it's about people, right? It's about, and you're so right when you say that. I just had someone do a little interview on me, a student over at ACCC. And when I went, there was only 2 C's. And his thing, Mike, describe to me what public relations is to you. And I said, well, listen, Sebastian, just break the word, break it down. It's public. You're in the public relations. And what you said, it's all about, meeting and networking and that sort of thing. And one of the things that you said there in about a minute or two, you hear the term boss. She's boss. He's boss. You're a leader. What you do is lead people. People do like to be led. People like to be direction, the proper, and speak to us a little bit. We're going to talk a little pandemic, but how important that is, because we're as we do this interview, we're with interns, Stockton University, and they're watching. And so touch on that, Jacqueline.
I will. So, and I'm going to say kind of 2 things. So to your point, as far as leadership is concerned, like people want to understand the vision, right? If you are able to cast the vision, right, and cast the vision and make it plain, help people understand what they're doing, why they are doing what they're doing. How is it that this work that I do, how does it ladder up to a greater purpose? To me, that's ultimately what leadership is about, getting people to rally behind a common goal and then achieving that goal. And I'm going to take that another step further and say that true leadership, at least in my mind and my approach, is really about serving, right? Serving others. And how do I ensure, as I indicated, that the team members who do come to work here at the Tropicana, like I am serving them in a way that helps them feel valued and appreciated. And then how am I serving our guests and ensuring that they're having a memorable experience? And then, as I indicated before, how am I serving the community? So to me, when I think about leadership, I really think about how am I serving others.
It's so good. And when you say serving others or whatnot, it always comes back to me because I love politics, they call it. And sometimes that's become a bad word, but it's public service, right? The real phrase, they're supposed to be public servants. That's but we can put that into a lot of different type of jobs. So Jackie, listen, we're going now, September 2020, it's the end of the summer and it's pumping, and then boom, all of a sudden, maybe 4, 5, 6 months down the road, here comes this pandemic, and you're put into this position. You got a great guy in the leadership role. We spoke about him briefly, Steve Callender, but tell us about that one, because this is like no other, right? And we're still dealing with it.
Oh, absolutely. So I joined the property in September of last year, which was only a few months after the properties reopened after the closure, as you recall, right? So the summer was a decent summer last year, all things considered, right? We were still at the height of the pandemic. But as you indicated, after the summer, so after Labor Day, as everyone probably recalls, the pandemic surged again. So I joined in the height of the pandemic, at least what we thought was the height of the pandemic at the time. And there were tons of COVID protocols, and that really was a large part of our job. And then as the fall progressed and we saw cases continue to increase, the surge really picked up, right? And the pandemic truly went to its height. So yes, to your point, it was a tough time, joining a new property and just being a part of this industry then. But here's what I will tell you, I am so proud at the resilience of this team. A large part of our jobs had really been about how do we keep our team members safe, and how do we keep our guests safe, and how are we providing an environment in which people feel safe. And that, heightened even more once we got into the fall. But I think we did a really great job at doing just that. And, coming out on the other side in May when some of the COVID restrictions were lifted, is really a testament of all of the hard work and dedication. And again, the resilience of this team.
You have a great team at that. I mean, we are so blessed here in Atlantic City, whether it's Tropicana, Atlantic City, Caesars, Hard Rock, Bally's, Borgata, very, very leader, the forefront of this type thing, whether it's the pandemic or whether it's the $400 million in future investment. We don't have a lot of time here left, Jackie, but what I would like for you, and it's going to go to you, you take us some of the investment, and then also the 40th anniversary that's happening. By the time this thing airs, it'll be sometime maybe mid-December, maybe early January. But as we go in, talk to us about that.
I sure will. So Caesars Entertainment has invested $400 million in capital in Atlantic City. That is a big deal, right? Somewhat unprecedented. And between all three properties, Tropicana, Caesars, and Harrah's, we will spend that $400 million in a relatively short period of time. Harrah's and Caesars has already enjoyed hotel renovations, and they have more hotel renovations going on. Harrah's has redone their casino floor. Caesars is doing that as well. There are new food and beverage amenities that are coming to both properties. And so again, super thrilled about that. Here at Tropicana, we've enjoyed lots of infrastructure stuff. So it's the stuff that's not as public facing or sexy, if you will, but it really is important. So elevators, escalators, roofs, all of that stuff. So we've invested a lot of money in that. That's not done. We're spending millions of dollars in getting new gaming equipment. So you're going to see lots of new slot machines on the floor. And then I'm going to tease this a little bit. We're doing a lot with our food and beverage footprint. So some of the restaurants that we have here on property, we'll be able to talk more about this soon, but we're spending some capital to reinvigorate those spaces. And I cannot wait to be able to tell you more about that. So that's that $400 million investment. And then 40th anniversary, Tropicana is celebrating 40 years, which is so fantastic this year. End of November is our official anniversary date. This weekend, November 19th, we are actually going to have a private event for VIP guests. We're celebrating our day one team members on Thursday. 54 employees here at the Tropicana are day oneers. And that really is a testament of the pride here at the Tropicana, of the culture here, the fact that this truly is a family environment. And so look forward to celebrating with our team members, with our guests, and it's going to be a fantastic time.
Jackie, I can't wait. Listen, you've been a neighbor of mine for the past 10 years, Tropicana property. Looking forward to the 40th year and many more after that. We got to get back together because I have a little radio show too that we'll be able to shoot the boo-boo maybe for a half hour, an hour if you want. Right. And we can go that route too, Joe. But we really thank you, folks. We've been talking to the Tropicana Senior Vice President, GM. Listen, we love what you do and continue. And whatever we can do here at Stockton University or the ACMike team, please let us know. Thank you so much. Folks, stay right where you're at.